So women lie about what turns them on more frequently than men do. Oh, yes, they do. That's true.
Tricky issue. A Canadian university study found that when men and women were shown images, everything from porn to snaps of animals doing it, women were much more likely to fib about how they felt. Their physical responses actually gave them away. Men were just much more honest. Truly, girls. First, though, what really turns you lot on? Men, we know, have very different romantic needs from women. And, hey, tell us something we don't know, righty. Well, don't blame the messenger, folks. It's just there's a survey in most of today's papers that suggests you girls get excited by tender kisses, lingering eye contact and being held in strong arms, while blokes get a thrill from cleavage, a glimpse of stockings and lacy underwear. Now, these sound like age-old stereotypes to me. Are we really that obvious, that unoriginal, that women crave sensitive, gentle physical contact while men get a thrill from what we see? Is that the way it's always been and always will be? Well, scientific research suggests that, yes, that is indeed the case. The biggest study ever into what turns us on found that it's harder to turn on the sexy feelings in a woman's brain than it is to arouse her body. Hence the need for a fella to start softly by telling a load of lies about how loved up he feels and wasting all that precious sex time on lingering kisses. Blokes, on the other hand, got like rockets, if you'll pardon the metaphor, if they see something that even hints at sex. Why? Well, the theory goes that evolution has decided that men must be ready to sow their seed in a jiffy. Women, on the other hand, are slower to arouse in order to protect them from harm and infection. So it's beautiful, isn't it? Really romantic. So is that it? Women like all that soft and tender stuff, men like obvious sexual messages. Are we that obvious, that unoriginal? Maybe other things turn us on. What about you? In a moment, we'll take your calls, but first, begins.
Well, I have to say I totally agree with this poll because I like tender kisses, lingering eye contact, flirting by text, a finger run down my spine, and being held in strong arms.
OK. And you're reading the women's
Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Which is...
Well spotted.
Which is... I wouldn't say that I am turned on. I suppose there's an immediate sexual turn-on by immediate sexual stimuli, but we want more than that, don't we, out of life? We want a romantic turn-on. We want a spark or see something.
I think it's I mean, you know, it's old-fashioned things. I mean, personality.
Yes.
You know, it's not necessarily how someone looks, how someone comes over, what their sex appeal is, and it's all so different. As I said yesterday, you know, how any two people can get together in a relationship is beyond me, because we're all so different, and so many things turn us on, so many things turn us off. You know, I mean, I find it fascinating.
Do you think that there's that before we get to having the conversation with someone, just the fantasy of what we like, that the survey is right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I do.
Conversation. The biggest turn-on is conversation. A man who knows how to talk and keep you interested. Really.
I think you're right.
It's so important. We are speaking creatures.
I think you're right. It's funny, that's not in either list. It's not in the male list or the female list.
No. No.
Very good point.
They do say that women are attracted to what's going on between the ears in a man. So women are often... Because you see these interesting sort of matches. For example, there was a few of our political leaders not so long ago seemed to be having flings and affairs all over the place. And to look at the chaps, you wondered how that could possibly happen. But it's because...
Don't be horrid to John Prescott again.
He's a lovely man.
No, he's
you
not.
like that sort of thing. But it's what goes on between the ears for women, I think, and also the foxtrot. That's the...
OK.
Is that not... You know, it is...
But the foxtrot,
Yes,
for me, would fit into that female profile. It's classic, it's elegant, it's stylish, it's sexy, but without being overt. Whereas men would prefer... The pole dancer,
initial attraction,
the pole dancer,
well, potentially,
perhaps.
if you find yourself in an establishment like that, Matthew. Now, but that's the initial attraction, I think.
Yes.
You see it's up for someone across the room. But in order to keep that going for anything longer than about 5 seconds, you need to... Personally, for me, it's got to be sort of, you know, whether they're sort of intellectually stimulating as
Okay,
well.
which is feeding into Yasmin's line of conversation. So I'm going to add conversation to the list then, both columns, men and women. What about you? What turns you on? Amy, what about you?
Well, fireman, obviously. Come and rescue me any day.
No interest in lingering, kisses, no. Just a man with a yellow helmet.
Yeah,
okay.
that'll do.
Fair enough.
Anyway, our first caller is Lorna on line 1.
Lorna.
Hello there, Matthew.
Morning. So, what turns you on? What turns you on, Lorna?
It's actually quite bizarre.
Go on.
It's Liverpudlians with grey hair.
Liverpudlians with grey hair.
Yeah, and my aunt, I live with my aunt called Pamela, and she's got the same fascination too. And a mutual friend of ours does as well, called Sandy. We all like Liverpudlians with grey hair. We find them pretty damn...
Roy Walker, look out.
Grey hair.
Grey hair.
Johnny
Yeah,
Tarbuck.
well, maybe not all grey, but, you know, whatever, if even partially grey,
So-
it's not a problem. But we find them really, really... It's just, I'll have a bit of that. Oh, yeah.
Have a bit of that.
Do you know what, though? Because...
In fact, we
Go
think
on.
they're so, like, sexy. We think that they should be given life because they're a danger to society.
All right. Calm down.
Do you think they should...
I do think, though, I'm actually with Lorna that I'm quite like weird... Well, not weird accents. It's unfair to call Scouse weird. I like northern accents. I like accents, actually. I find them sexy.
Oh, really?
So there we go.
Greying Scouse man.
Well, that bit I can do without. That bit I can do. All right, there.
You are terrible. What are you talking about?
Lorna. Thank you, Lorna. Let's have another.
OK, let's go to Mo then on line 2.
Mo, good morning.
Hello, Matthew.
Morning. I can't quite hear you. If you can speak up, it'd be great. What turns you on, Mo?
Irish men that can dance.
Irish men that can dance.
No, I think...
Any man that can dance.
Any
I
man
think,
that can dance,
potentially.
was it? Yeah.
Who can blame her?
I like the Irish accent and I like the blarney and the jokes. And, as long as they can dance and they feed me, they're fine.
I can't hear. But say again.
I said, as long as they can dance and they can feed me, I'm fine.
Okay.
Take me out to dinner, have a little dance with me, and you can have your wicked wife.
Okay. Thank you. All right, Anton. So thank you for that, Mo. Let's go to the audience, Eric.